Hey everyone, I got to see them here. This is going to be a bit of a different sort of video than I normally would do. It's just mainly a sort of rant that's been kind of long overdue, but I've not really talked much about my political views as much on YouTube as I normally would do, but I thought I'd just take a depth into that, well, plunge myself into this aspect for a little while. And I'm mainly going to be talking about the coalition government in the UK. Now, I know for most of my source on most of my subscribers are in the States, so not many of you will get the gist of what I'm talking about. But as you're probably well aware of, we have a coalition government formed by the Conservative Party and the Liberal Democrats. Now, I really want to talk about the complete and utter hypocrisy and outright lies that has come from the Liberal Democrat side in regards to the recent protests on the raising on the cap of student tuition fees, amongst other things. But as of that event now, I'm seriously seeing that the coalition government is going to start falling apart very, very soon. As an opinion poll suggested this weekend just passed, 50% of the people who voted for the Liberal Democrats in the general election have lost confidence in their party after their U-turn around on their own manifesto on being against tuition fees, yet they voted for tuition fees. Now, this is only like small parts. There's many other things that the coalition government has already had like its sights on. To start, there's the 70,000 council jobs to be cut or threatened next year. We have the educational maintenance allowance to be scrapped next year, which basically Cameron claimed it to be too expensive, yet it's keeping people in education and ensuring they're at college. Yet it's expensive, yet we're still able to fork out all this money to go and possibly bail out Ireland if they need it to. Yet where's this money coming from? I mean, we've already just bailed out the banks from a recession. I mean, where's the logic in this? I don't see any logic at all in this current government at all. It's like with what's her name, Theresa May in the cabinet. She voted against. Well, she was against repealing Section 28. She was against the lowering age of consent in homosexual relationships to 16. She was against gay adoption rights. She was against the Human Fertilisation and Embryology Bill. And David Cameron made her the Minister for Equality. Oh, that's irony. And again, where's the fucking logic? It just makes no sense at all, this government. But with all these protests that have been going on in recent, I seriously think now that people are starting to mobilise against this sort of complete hypocrisy that has come from the government, where now we're facing more unemployment now than ever since Labour, so basically towards the end of Labour's term of government, where we're starting to get a spike in the unemployment, and it had drastically dropped since 1997 when Labour came into power to begin with. And though I'm not a staunch supporter of the Labour Party myself since it became New Labour, because I'm a member of the Socialist Party, and if anyone has a problem with that, I don't really give a shit. It's my political view, you have your political views, just deal with that. But anyway, other things that the coalition government was planning on doing was shutting down 19 Coast Guard centres in the United Kingdom and part privatising the helicopter search and rescue. Now for other things, I have a severe problem with the whole aspect of the whole tuition fees thing and the educational maintenance allowance, is that a lot of people on the low income and people from families on low incomes need a form of financial support to get them through college. I mean, while I was at college I was getting EMA, and that helped me get through at one point, but that I was getting the adult learning grant version, it was not the EMA, but it's still on the same basis. And people do need some financial support to get them through. Now this is being taken away, I'm probably going to say that there is going to be a very substantial difference with people choosing to go to college. And if people don't go to college, that means there are going to be more people on the unemployment lists. And the problem with that being that there's not enough jobs going around for people to begin with, and thus the number of unemployment is going to reach astronomical levels by next year. I can probably predict that's going to happen quite drastically, because every time there's been a Conservative government in this country, the unemployment rates have skyrocketed. And with the current government becoming more Thatcherite than Margaret Thatcher herself, they've made that pretty abundantly clear. The other main reasons to be concerned is that the fact that we have a bit of a wage here, but the Tories themselves are very much against the minimum wage when it was originally formed, and they may be doing something to alter that at some point. We don't know yet. It could happen. I mean, we've already got screwed over on the education side and on the job side of things, so what else can they do to us? I mean, at the moment this is pretty much becoming like a condemn fucking screw over of the entire country. And I know people are starting to lose support on certain parties. I mean, the Liberal Democrats have now, as I said, lost 50% of their voters' confidence So it's going to be interesting seeing how things turned out. And I know there's been a lot of chatter about 26th of March next year, where apparently the big demo is going to occur in London, where they're going to attempt to get more than over 100,000 protesters into the city to basically protest against the government. And if this goes ahead, I think this may be a very interesting political time in the UK, but we'll have to see how this pans out. But in the end, I did not vote for the Liberal Democrats or the Conservatives, and I will never vote for the Liberal Democrats or the Conservatives. I think it's time we need to have an alternative party where people are guaranteed a decent education from start to finish, all the way, and the tuition fees increase and cap needs to be removed. We need to scrap the tuition fees, even though the Liberal Democrats now have ironically put that as their target in their next manifesto for when they go into the next general election, which is a complete fucking farce, to be honest. Nobody's going to take them seriously anymore. And as for the Conservatives, really enough said what's going on with them. It's now becoming to a point where we're seeing a lot of people mobilising against the current government, and it's to be expected from a Conservative-led government. Even though it is a coalition, it's still majority Conservative-led, and I don't think the people are going to take much more of it. Probably may do a second part to this at some point, since I'm running up to 12 minutes plus, but I will now leave you with some entertaining political pictures of how people in the UK perceive the Conservatives and the Liberal Democrats. So enjoy. Bye for now.